Welcome to the lesson in Grammar 3 of Chapter 7, Faire des comparaisons et exprimer les superlatifs. Comparisons and superlatives in French are not so different from English. You have the notion of more or less, or as often as, or as whatever it is as. You also have the notion of better or less, better. There's more in terms of frequency. He works more, he does more, and then better, which is more the intensity of it. He works better than her, or not necessarily more in terms of hours, but when he works better, or he sings better. She sings more, but he sings better. He drives more, but she drives better. You also have superlatives, which to a certain extent are structured in very much the same way as in English. When we say he works better than she does, but she works, she's the best. She works better than anybody else, but you have that in some senses for the adjectives. She is the best. She is the most. She does the most. This is the most delicious. You have that. You'll see that in French with the definite article le. But in French, you also have the constant need to reinforce adjectives with their agreement. So that's something that you're going to be taking into consideration. And you also, as in English, so in French, you have the irregular expressions. You don't say it's more good, you say it's better. Same with in French, when you say something c'est bon, you don't say c'est plus bon, you say c'est meilleur. And for the best, c'est le meilleur. And for adverbs, if something's better, you say c'est mieux, or meilleur que. So you have some irregular expressions to learn in French. And so this lesson is not so challenging, but you do have to be meticulous as you go through the different ways of comparing and expressing superlatives when it's adjectives, when it's adverbs, when it's adjectives of intensity as opposed to frequency. And you also have to learn quantities, when we talk about quantities, which we've been doing all semester. Quantities. I have more of something, which is different than I work more, or I am more adjective, I am more studious, I have more work than you. There's a different way of expressing quantities. J'ai plus de travail que toi. J'ai autant de travail. J'ai moins de travail. So let's just patiently work through the different scenario that we have. I'd like to just begin with one example. Il travaille. He works. So you would say, il travaille plus que moi. He works more than me. Il travaille moins que moi. He works less than me. So there you would say, il travaille plus que moi. Il travaille moins que moi. You also have, for adjectives, il est donc travailleur. He's a hard worker. Il est plus travailleur que moi. Je suis moins travailleur que lui. The book gives you examples. Les Français parlent plus vite que les Américains. Les Américains parlent moins vite que les Français. Or if I were talking in terms of me to you, je parle plus vite que toi. Tu parles moins vite que moi. Or how about I'm saying I speak faster than they do, and they is masculine. Je parle plus vite que. Remember that they is E-U-X. Il parle moins vite que moi, ou il parle moins vite que nous, ou vous. Il parle moins vite qu'elle. Elle parle plus vite que. So, you have the plus que, moins que. Je suis plus efficace que toi, tu es moins efficace que moi. Les professeurs sont plus sévères, moins sévères. You also have the adjective. So, il est plus efficace, elle est moins efficace. Il est plus travailleur, elle est moins travailleur. With adjectives, you have to make sure that there's agreement. Les Français is the subject. Les Français sont, whatever it is, plus, moins, aussi que, whatever it is, the next adjective has to agree with the subject. Les Français sont moins bien payés que les Américains. Payé has to agree with les Français. With adjectives, you can also say as much as important as interesting as. So there they give you an expression. Les diplômes universitaires sont aussi importants en France qu'au Québec. So the adjective here is important. Aussi important que. Mon étudiante est aussi ambitieuse que votre étudiante. My student is as ambitious as your student. Here they add in, les diplômes universitaires sont aussi importants en France qu'au Québec. So they are as important in France as in Quebec. So you're comparing two places. Les frites sont aussi délicieuses à Chicago qu'à New York. As delicious in Chicago as they are in New York. You could also say aussi for adverbs though. I'm thinking, il travaille efficacement. Elle travaille aussi efficacement que lui. Elle travaille plus efficacement que moi. Il travaille moins efficacement que moi. Moins rapidement que moi. Elle travaille aussi rapidement que lui. Elle travaille aussi efficacement que moi. The superlative for adjectives, instead of just saying plus, blah, 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 que, now you'd say le plus, la plus, les plus. Les médecins sont les gens les plus riches, les mieux payés. Well, we'll get to that later. Donc here, les médecins, it's plural. So you say sont les gens les plus riches. Now, superlative, as you remember, that implies that there's more than a comparison between two. It's a statement of being superlative, being better than, more than two, being better than everybody else. C'est l'hôtel le plus cher de la ville. That's different than saying cet hôtel est plus cher que l'hôtel en face. Cet hôtel est plus cher que les autres. You're comparing this hotel with the others. Here, superlative establishes it's the best. C'est l'hôtel le plus cher. Anne est la moins payée dans l'entreprise. Elle est moins payée que Jacques. Elle est moins bien payée que Jean. Elle est moins bien payée que Jacotte. Elle est la moins payée dans l'entreprise. Now, we're comparing her with men and other women, but it's Anne, the subject. Anne est la moins payée. Anne est the least paid in the company. Oh, and there was something about the preposition I forgot to notice. We've been using que with comparisons. Il est mieux payé que son adversaire. Ou, voilà. So if you're saying, elle est la moins payée dans l'entreprise, elle est la moins payée de tous les autres. You would use the preposition de if you added in of others. And they keep on giving you examples here about superlatives. Paris, c'est la plus belle ville. Les Français parlent le plus vite. Cette calculatrice coûte le moins cher. Je parle le moins vite. Now notice with the adverbs, there is no agreement because it's an adverb. Adverbs don't agree. They're gender neutral. Okay, so we've been talking about more or less, or as something as. You know, he works more, he works less, he is as efficient as, or he works as well as. Now we're talking in terms of quality, like, il est bon, elle est bonne, mais sa sœur est meilleure qu'elle. Sa sœur est la meilleure de tout le monde. Il est mauvais, mais son frère est pire que lui. Son frère est le pire, ou il est le pire de toute la classe. He is the worst of the whole class. Il est le plus mauvais, you can say as well, or il est plus mauvais que les autres. But I like pire. So this is when you're talking about quality. Il est meilleur qu'elle. Elle est meilleure que lui. Elle est la meilleure. Il est le meilleur. Elle est la pire. Il est le pire. So you could say, je travaille plus. Je suis une meilleure travailleuse. Je suis une meilleure employée. This is also for, je travaille bien. Je travaille mieux. Je travaille le mieux. Il travaille mal. Elle travaille plus mal que lui. Mais le troisième, il est le plus mal. Les oranges sont meilleures que les pommes. You could also say les oranges sont plus délicieuses que les pommes. But here, you're saying meilleur, better. Les examens sont pires que les devoirs. They are worse. Tu chantes mieux que moi. You sing better. Je chante plus souvent. Je chante plus que toi. I sing more than you. Mais malheureusement, toi, tu chantes mieux que moi. You sing better. Luc danse plus mal que Marc. Luc danse moins bien que Marc. C'est la meilleure profession du monde. C'est la plus mauvaise profession du monde. C'est la plus mauvaise histoire. C'est la meilleure histoire. Il chante le plus mal. Elle chante le meilleur. Now you also have quantities. With quantities, you'll say, il a plus d'amis qu'elle. He has more friends. It's more like more of friends. Il a plus d'argent que son frère. Son frère a moins d'argent que lui. Mais moi, la sœur, j'ai autant d'argent que mes frères. As many, as much. Anne a plus de livres que Luc. Kofi a moins d'enfants que Luc. J'ai autant d'argent que toi. Voilà. So, it's really as you work through that you'll understand the different, it's like you're memorizing all of the different situations where you would use comparisons or superlatives. And as you memorize all of the different situations, it comes together like a puzzle.